Am I coming through? That, my friends, is the question. Oh, it would appear so. Let me just adjust that. There we go. That's a little better. Hope people are doing okay. Beautiful whistling. Thank you. Thank you very much. I do all right as a whistle. I'm not that impressive. Did you hear about Helen McCrory? I did. That's a shame. I didn't really know her from anything other than her role as Narcissa Malfoy, but she was fairly young. So, yes, that is a shame. Did I trim my hair? No. No, I did not. I'm due to trim up the sides and the back, but otherwise, no. Oh, Ben, don't nod so hard that you strain your neck. All right? Be careful about that. Was she whistling because she's in a sitcom? Someone asked her to act normal. It really doesn't work in real life, does it? You whistle, it just draws attention. So, my suggests Peaky Blinders for something else with Helen McCrory. Very good show. I've heard very good things about it. I don't have time to... I don't even right now really have time to watch the things I've been commissioned to write because I need to get the damn book done, which, as the title to the live stream implies, I really should be doing right now. I'm not. I've called it a day on that. But, yeah, I have no idea when I will be in a position to do fun viewing again. Like watching stuff that isn't because I intend to get a video out of it or I've been commissioned to review it. I don't know when I will have time for stuff that's just for me. The closest I come is when I'm with Liz, we'll watch stuff together like that. But like when I'm on my own, nah. Your sides come in very quickly. Yeah, they really do. Yeah, my hair gets up to a certain length pretty quickly. Once I feel like it's been this length forever. I feel like this isn't getting much longer. But yeah, this comes in quick. It is very true. Fun is not allowed. It's sinful, said the Englishman. Wow. I have the joy of having being generationally distant enough from my English roots to have largely shaken that off. At least I like to think so. As I have a lovely cup of sin. Let's see. I like this heated debate over Twitter discourse setup. Oh, Twitter, like, honestly, if I didn't kind of need it for, promotional purposes and as a way for people to be able to contact me, because I have gotten contacted directly through Twitter and sometimes in meaningful ways. And honestly, it was helpful with the book also. I was surprisingly efficient for finding illustrators. But like just as a general thing, I really don't have a lot of use for Twitter anymore on a personal level. Like professionally, I have some use for Twitter and I do try and use it recreationally a little, but I have very little use for the platform anymore. If I ever did, I never really sank that far into Twitter. And I feel like there's multiple friends I have who, you know, will have a down day, and I'll be like, are you doing okay? And they'll be like, oh, you know, I was on Twitter. I'm like, just stop. Stop going on Twitter. You'll probably have a better day. Just saying. I mean, I go on there to basically to post my own stuff. I do not hang out there. I do not sit around that spot. It's very red water. You should have the taps looked at. I don't know if you need to check your screen or if you've got some kind of filters up on your displays or something, but no, this is crystal clear. So I don't know what you're seeing. I'm not responsible for that. Fun fact, sin is a Greek word, an archery term. Interesting. Do you beatbox? Good grief, no. Oh, I feel like this is worth getting out there and having it said. The guilty verdict for Derek Chauvin, I believe is his name, in the case of the man who killed George Floyd. That was really good to get a news alert on. Now, we'll see what the sentencing looks like when we get there, but that was honestly kind of a relief. A bit of a relief. Honestly, not dissimilar to the election results. Just the sense that there was a result that, to me, was so clear the best thing that could happen that I was dreading the opposite. And it's nice to have things just not go that way once in a while. So, I mean, like, obviously there is not a direct relation between the outcome of this trial and Trump losing the presidency. But as far as how it is felt, the weight that gets eased on my soul, there is a link, and there is part of my brain and my processing that is going, oh, thank God that relief of the election results wasn't a fluke. There will or can be other moments of relief of things not going horribly wrong. Now, that having been said, much like with the election itself, this is not the point to simply go, woo, we did it! Problem solved, everybody, you can go home. Like, no, this is a ongoing problem, and we've had stupidly recent instances of effectively the same thing. So nobody, especially if you're white, do not act like this means everything's good now, because it's not. This is a lovely indication that maybe things can start to head in the direction they really freaking need to, but do not sit back and get complacent. I'm going to try and not sit back and get complacent. But that having been said, the sense of relief, honestly, I can't even say joy or anything like that because the man's still dead. But, like, it is relief. That sense of relief is very real. And for me, at least, right now it has value. And I benefit from that at the moment. So, yeah. Funny enough, I only reactivated my Twitter account just to follow you. It's been so long that I use my Twitter that I still have to save the BAU ladies. I still have a Save the BAU ladies banner across my profile. Interesting. I'm flattered. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, geez. I am going to butcher this because I don't know if it should be done continuously or if I should be pronouncing those letters separate. I'm going to go for that. KJ Zana channel, thank you very much. Have a heart. And folks who contribute to the super chat, that guarantees I will read your question. I try and address the chat as best as I can as it goes on, but a super chat guarantees that I will address your question or comment, and you also get a heart. So thank you very much. Have you heard of the Small Axe film anthology that Steve McQueen directed last year? It's astounding how he can direct 5 feature films all at once. I had not heard of that. I'm going to have to look into that because no, I'm not familiar with that one. I'm going to have to remember, like, honestly, if you are on Twitter, at me like tomorrow, because I'm going to largely be unwinding this evening, or at least trying to. So the odds of me remembering or addressing it immediately, unlikely, but, nudge me on it. I'd appreciate that. It's me, Connor. Oh, hey, Connor. I can't guarantee I'll remember that either. Like, remembering names that are not the names that are up on the display like that, it's not a skill I have. Today's verdict should hopefully be the beginning of justice and reform. Agree, we should not be complacent. Justice, maybe. I do want to stress that right now, that result, like the idea of moving on to reform, which we need to do, but that's where I worry that there will be complacency, because for some people, they will look at this outcome and the guilty verdict and think, oh, look, the system works. But that's the thing. The system is fundamentally broken at a lot of levels. Just because it worked this one time, that does not mean it is not fundamentally broken to its core on a lot of levels, especially when it comes with what police are allowed to do and get away with when it comes to violent action against, honestly, anybody, but especially black people. So we have to be very careful that a guilty verdict is not interpreted as the system works. Because no, it doesn't. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. This was just the instance that was so egregious that even the broken system couldn't stop it from getting to a point of actual legitimate justice outcome on it. But that is not an indication that the system works. I'll explain. At the timer on 2010, CBS forced my favorite show, Criminal Minds, to controversially axe 2/3 of its female cast before season 6, caused a huge outcry. Ooh, goodness. I did not know about that. Not broken, built that way. Yes. Yeah, that is actually a very good point, John. The unfortunate truth is that the justice system, much like the stock market and the capitalist system and the way that companies are allowed to treat their employees and fire massive swaths of staff at the same time that they post record earnings, are not flukes. They are, in fact, the system working as intended and how it's designed to be, which is something that I wish people would really wrap their heads around, because if the system was designed that way, then the only way to improve it is with forceful and deliberate action, because it was set up to be like this on purpose. So you can only change it on purpose. It is not going to naturally incline towards a better outcome. Thoughts on Jingle All the Way? Never seen it. Don't wanna. Have you seen, heard of Six, the musical? Yes. God, that was getting brought up in the chat a few months ago on a semi-regular basis, probably by Ms. Wicked Wolf, at a guess. Yeah, Liz introduced me to that, actually. I like it quite a bit. I like Catherine Howard best, personally, number 5. But no, that's a great show. That's a lot of fun, and that music is fantastic. Got some very bad news from here in the UK. The LGB Alliance has been granted charity registration by the government. Well, fuck. So for anyone who doesn't know, the LGB Alliance is basically unified turfdom. It is a deliberate and overt removal of trans people from certainly their sphere of the queer community, and with the stated and flat out deliberate intent to excise trans people from the queer movement and queer culture, and probably from the face of the earth if they could have their way. God damn it. That's another thing. I'm starting to look into a bit more about some of the legislation, and I can honestly just only look at a sampling of it that's either been proposed at the state level or, in the case of, it was either Alabama or Arkansas, actually getting passed in terms of the restricting of the rights of trans people, specifically targeting trans teenagers and anyone under the age of 18, because I need to do a video on that. Probably on the Vera Wild channel, because I'm overdue to do an update video on there, and I don't have a way of really tying it into pop culture. And without that hook in, it feels weird to address it here, other than on the live streams, I suppose. But I'm fortunate to live in a state that isn't going in for a lot of this nonsense. And there are a lot of the proposed legislation. I mean, that's something to keep in mind. There are literally hundreds of bills being proposed, and a lot of them are already stalling. They're stalling in committee. They're clearing state houses, but not state senates. But part of what's really infuriating about all this, and I didn't even realize this, I stumbled across this this fact by accident while looking into other things related to all this. In polls taken, they're several months old now, but they would have been around in the lead up to the election. When asked, Republican voters don't back these bills. A majority of Republican voters don't see trans people's rights as an issue, or even think that they should have, if not equal standing, at the very least equal access to medical care. And when asked to rank the priorities of the issues at hand, which would, issues like the rights of transgender people, but also things like a woman's right to an abortion, and the current state of the economy, and international terrorists, and like all these hot button issues, gun control, all this stuff. And this was Republicans polled. They put transgender bottom last as a priority. So what this means right now is for the Republican Party, they see people like me as the easy target, as the easy win they can try and get when they're down because they lost the White House, they lost the Senate, they desperately want to win, and certainly within the bubbles that these people tend to exist in, guess who is still considered a valid and viable target? And at the very least, you won't get in trouble for going after. Like, Republicans target all kinds of people, but they can't do so openly in most cases. Republicans can't pass legislation that openly, flatly goes against the poor, goes against black people, goes against Hispanic, Latin folks. They can't do that without serious pushback, but they can openly, flatly come at people who are not cisgender. And even if they can't get their legislation passed, it is no hit whatsoever to their standing, either as individuals or as a political party as a whole. It is totally fair from their viewpoint. It's honestly, the reason they're pushing all this stuff is because it's a zero-loss situation. If they don't get passed, it's not going to hurt them. And they can say, well, we pushed for this. And if they get it passed, hey, look, we got stuff done. That is the current state of trans people in the country that I live. We are such a viable target that there is no political downside for the right to target us. Because, you know, they didn't have our votes anyway, so they don't give a crap about us. They don't have to. And there isn't enough backing. There aren't enough allies to push back. So they do it and they get away with it. Thank you very much, Alex. You get a heart? Alex Stacy, thank you. Been watching your content for free for a while now, so I decided to change that. Hope you're having a good day. Oh, thank you. I've got stuff weighing on on my mind, as you may have guessed from my rambling. So like, it's been better, but like on a personal level, you know, my life, my house, my family, I'm all right. I'm doing okay. So thank you. Have you seen Spielberg's The Adventures of Tintin? No. I meant to see that. It was on my to-do list forever, but there were just other things that felt like higher priority. Yeah. Somebody was putting in, or I think it was Connor, was putting in 420 light up. Yeah, I just don't. Like, it's funny. The job I was at, the one that I was at for about 9 years, they had random drug tests, which I actually got picked for at least once, might have been twice, while I was there. But so just for that reason alone, I got out of the habit, and I don't feel a need to go back to it. Even now that I'm, self-employed and my own boss, and it's largely legal now, but like, I just don't feel the need. And actually, you know, it's funny to me with 420. I feel like I don't want to come off it. I don't want to harsh anybody's buzz, but like I can't help but feel that most of the people who are like, yeah, 420 are people who are probably smoking the rest of the year anyway. And 420, rather than being an excuse to partake, is rather just an excuse to tell everybody how much you love it. I don't think there are that many people who like wait until the day. And there's probably some, but I can't imagine that is very many. Any plans to watch The Bad Batch? Yes, actually. I'm probably going to give that a shot. And I hope it is not too buried in animated Star Wars lore, because I've seen bits of Rebels. I haven't seen Clone Wars, and I'm sure there'll be references, but I am willing to try this one because it's a chance for me to come in while it's fresh, and I would like to do that. And yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot. Hopefully I don't feel alienated by too many callbacks. I would like to think it would be fairly newcomer friendly, since it's going to be the first one premiering on Disney Plus as a service, but we'll see. Oh, hey there, Theories. Question close to my heart. What do you think of the Reddit Doctor Who leaks? Probably a lot of BS, but interesting to discuss. I'm unfamiliar. I abandoned Reddit probably about a year ago. I think, I mean, like Ben just pointed out, I'm generally not inclined towards leaks in the first place, because they're either true or they're not. And if they're true, there'll be an official confirmation later. And if they're not true, then I'm getting worked up over nothing. And they don't seem worth the brain energy to me. It's not important enough to be like ahead of things for me. It doesn't matter that I know first. I'm just not that kind of person. I don't really care that much. I would rather know that it's true than know it early, if that makes sense. But as far as Reddit itself goes, like, I think, I don't know what point it was, but there was a point where, about half the time I would post or comment on anything, I would just get anti-trans stuff thrown at me, or even in trans forums get things like transgender thrown at me. So I'm just like, I know when I'm not welcome. Like, I still technically have an account on Reddit. I didn't delete my profile or anything, but like, screw it. Unlike Twitter, which I can justify in terms of there's these benefits to being on the platform. Like, I couldn't think of any of being on Reddit at this point, honestly. Thinking back to your top 10 movie scores list. Oh boy, that is going back a ways. If I were to do one, I would choose Glory as a James Horner one, and really tempted to include Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence. Okay, don't know that one. And actually, I don't know the Glory soundtrack that well. I haven't seen that movie front to back. I've only seen bits and pieces of it. Seemed fine. I mean, Civil War is not a period in time. It is Civil War, right? Or is it Revolutionary War? I can't remember. Old-timey American wars aren't exactly my wheelhouse. What are your thoughts on Liar Liar? I have not rewatched it in ages. To my memory, it's one of the Jim Carrey movies that holds up better. That doesn't mean it holds up great, just means that it holds up better. It looks like it may have some ties to Clone Wars. Would recommend Everybody has recommended Clone Wars to me. I'm sure it's great. I didn't skip it because I think it's crap. I just like time. Say watch the first 4 episodes of season 7 of Clone Wars as though those episodes have the Bad Batch in them. I mean, I probably won't do that either. I appreciate the recommendation, but realistically, no, I probably won't. Bill Pope is the cinematographer for Shang-Chi. Oh, dang, really? I did not even realize he was going to be doing it. Okay. Oh, I kind of wish I had realized that he was the cinematographer on that, because that would have, just knowing he was there would have waylaid at least some of my fears that I expressed when I reacted to that trailer. Sorry, I might have missed something, but my thoughts on the trans right thing. You were talking about trans people, or people and politicians have so many other problems to deal with. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, though. But, like, trans people are, as I said, right now seen politically as a very clean target. And there are some people who, like, legitimately hate us. Like, very, very, very deeply. But there are plenty of people who, usually people in political positions, who are moving against us more out of political expediency and attempts to gain political clout than out of abject hatred. But there is some of that floating around. There's plenty of it, truth be told. If it's Mr. and Sir for men and Ms. or Mrs. and ma'am for women, what's for NBs? Kind soul, friend, fellow human. You know, take your pick. Or more realistically, ask someone who identifies firmly as non-binary, as opposed to a wishy-washy ball of gender nonsense like me. Yeah, I understand not having enough time, though I have all the time in the world right now. Maybe I'll pay you to watch it sometime if I get a job. Hey, that's what the Patreon's for. Jesse thinks you're hot. Everybody thinks I'm hot. You have eyes. It's a visual medium. Moving on. Glory is about a mostly black civil. It was Civil War. I knew it was about a black battalion. I just couldn't remember which war it was. So thank you for that, Rowan. Do you think Christopher Eccleston had the potential to be one of the top 5 doctors if he had more than one series? I think people are well within their rights to label him as a top 5 doctor, even with one series. I think he did great. Whether or not people think it was enough to rank him that high, I mean, that's an individual choice. I mean, I've always said there is no wrong answer to who's your favorite doctor or who are your top 5 favorite doctors. So, like, you say it as if there aren't already people who put him as a top 5, and there are. I've met some. There was a post on Twitter, casting the Wicked movie is like choosing a restaurant for dinner. I don't have any good suggestion. But I know I don't want anything you've said. Yeah, honestly, that sounds like fan casting in general, which is why I don't generally indulge in it. Fellow human sounds too jokey and isn't suitable off the internet. Friends sounds best of those. People are pointing out some folks do use Mix, MX, but it is one of those things that hasn't really taken a firm grip on the general pop culture, so we'll see if it sticks. I mean, it makes sense. It would work. I haven't seen any Marvel stuff because there is too much seriously giving other comic companies a shot. Well, look, the other comic companies, there's really only one other of note. In terms of superhero stuff, definitely, and that's DC. DC has had a shot, and the fact that they are floundering behind Marvel is not Marvel's fault. DC did that to themselves. So, that is not Marvel's fault. If you think there's too much Marvel stuff and you're intimidated or don't want to dive into it, that's fair. But the lack of stuff from DC is not Marvel's fault. Shame you've got no self-confidence there, Vera. I know. I am so insecure and uncertain and lacking in confidence in myself. It's really sad. Let's see. Gotta bounce night, everyone. Good night, Andrew. Thanks for stopping in. My friend was watching your old Vera Wild video. She was thinking about referring to you as V because she thinks it's cool. I mean, like, she can refer to me as whatever she likes. I'm not in the room, as long as it's polite. Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence is a queer-themed Japanese prisoner of war movie starring David Bowie. Why don't I know this? Why do I not know about... Oh... I really feel like that's something I should have known. Whew. Thoughts on Howl's Moving Castle? It's fun. I enjoy it. I think it's a little underappreciated, actually, as far as Miyazaki movies go. I feel like some stuff of his is a little overpraised. I mean, like, I know... Spirited Away is a little overrated. I'm sorry, it is. It's good. It, like, almost everything that I say is overrated. It's still good. It's just not the end-all be-all that a lot of people say it is. Oh, Comp Girl. Thank you very much. You get a heart. Thank you for the super. Super chat. Oh, God, love that smile. Oh, I'm bumping the camera. I actually got to have it photographed over the weekend. I don't know when I'm going to have pictures from that, but I haven't had a photo shoot in probably close to 2 years, maybe even more than 2. At this point, it's been a long time. I've missed it. And this was like really quick because there were a bunch of us there. It was for a Pride calendar, so you know the people were only there for short periods, and then the next group had to come in. It was nice to be in front of a camera again. I'm pretty sure you've heard the main theme from Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, and not known it. I mean, once I hear it, I'll probably find that to be true. I'm seeing some love for Labyrinth in the chat. Always support that. I love 99% of all Studio Ghibli movies. In fairness, I haven't actually seen that many Ghibli movies that aren't directed by Miyazaki himself. I have seen Grave of the Fireflies, but I haven't seen stuff like The Cat Returns, or Only Yesterday, or Marnie Was Here, or Tales of Earthsea. I did see Secret World of Arietti, which he did not. He didn't direct that one. So I've seen a couple that he didn't direct, but I've seen his whole filmography for his feature-length stuff. Dark Horse Comics, Valiant Comics, and IDW are just a few I can name off the top of my head. I'm not disregarding or disparaging companies that aren't the big two, but they're not playing in the same field. If you're talking superhero comics, basically with a handful of exceptions, which are mostly parodies and pastiches, you're talking Marvel and DC. I mean, I was tempted to bring up Image, but honestly, Image at this point, what they have the rights to that's actually good isn't really their superhero stuff. So, like, if you're talking comic books in general, and you're saying things other than superheroes, I agree. But again, superhero movies being big doesn't preclude non-superhero comic books from getting a shot. You know, so I feel like we're talking past each other a little bit on that. Discord. Oh, thank you, Carwin. I will check that in just a second. Time for my hot take. Heaven Sent is overrated, especially at this point. World Enough in Time. The Doctor Falls is better. No comment. Because my reviews for World Enough in Time and The Doctor Falls, my revisit reviews aren't up yet. So, no comment. If there is a Labyrinth sequel, which I don't think should happen, I don't either. I really want to see inside the worm's house. At the risk of being tactless, is it okay if I describe you with male pronouns when casually discussing you? Please do not. I do not use masculine pronouns anymore, and I kindly ask that if you are referring to me, you not use them either. I don't connect with masculine pronouns anymore. I've not abandoned my birth name. I still answer to Nathaniel, but please, she or they, whichever one flows off the tongue more easily for you. There was a point in the past where I honestly didn't care and any pronoun was fine, but I would ask that you not use the masculine pronoun. Please. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to pop on over to the Discord, which means this is the plug for the Patreon, which gets you access to the Discord. It is the other way to guarantee that you have questions or comments read in the live stream other than dropping super chats, though I appreciate those as well, obviously. Okay, let's see what we've got here. First question. First couple of questions are actually about the novel, because that's what I had mentioned was kind of on my mind, and that's the title for this thing. I really should be writing right now, but I'm not. Did you have a favorite character to write for, or one that came easily to you? Two of my side characters of my novella were like that, oddly not the main character. Yeah, honestly, the main character was one of the hardest to write for, which I know sounds counterintuitive, but like I knew there was a certain character who I needed at the center of this to tell the story that I wanted to tell. But the kind of character that was not the easiest thing for me to write. And if I did a drastic change on how that main character functioned, it would have changed the story significantly in terms of what I actually wanted the narrative to be. So, but yeah, I had a couple of characters there. There's honestly, I'm not going to name them because the book's not out yet. So the names would have no meaning anyways. But there are a couple of characters who were very easy for me to write because they're basically me through a different lens. I don't want to go so far as to say self-inserts, but there's a couple of characters where one of them is basically how I would like to think I would behave in the circumstances that these characters are in. And the other character is how I think I probably actually would behave in reality if I was in those circumstances. And so those two are actually quite easy and were a lot of fun to write. Let me get to the next one. Can't wait to hear more about your novel. It's kind of nice and frustrating at the same time when your thoughts are consumed by your writing. I love it, but it is frustrating when you can't write and your head is throwing ideas. I'm working on becoming a more disciplined writer myself. I try to write 2,500 words a day right now. That is an impressive number. Once the book's actually done being edited, because that's still what that's what I'm trying to finish off right now. I want to maintain the habit of writing on a daily basis. I'm not going to start out with a word goal. I'll sort of see what I get. Here's what I've found, though. And I'll need to come up with a backup plan for this come winter again. But what I've started doing since it got warmer, well, I say that. It's supposed to snow here tomorrow, Vermont. But anyways, I've actually started writing out on my porch and writing outside. And it has done worlds of wonder for my focus to not be doing it in the same space at the desk where I do everything else. Because if I'm at the desk where I'm normally editing or researching for videos or checking social media or what have you, then it's really hard to stop myself from doing those things either instead of or at the same time that I'm trying to write, and then being massively inefficient at all of them. Whereas going outside and sitting on the porch, it's has done wonders to clear my headspace and allow me to focus. Now, come winter, I can't really sit out there. I might try sitting in just another room of the house to do writing. But I do think I've learned one of the things about me is that I really do kind of tie mental headspace to my situation and my surroundings. So if I have built a habit of doing certain things at a certain location, it's hard for me to break that. And if I'm trying to do something else, I should probably do it in a different location where I'm either used to doing that other thing or I don't have specific habits built up of doing only this thing in this space, if that makes any kind of sense. Let's see. Setting aside what were clearly for very young kids, are there any series, print, TV, or film that you feel you've simply grew out of? This excludes ones that became problematic, simply a function of how you changed. I don't think so. There are some that I enjoy greatly, but have been reluctant to go back and revisit, but that's more fear of finding problematic elements. I don't think there's anything that I just flat out outgrew. There were things I moved away from over time. Like there was a time when I was really into the Dris Duerden books. So that's R.A. Salvatore, D&D Forgotten Realms set books. The lead character is a dark elf. I was really into those for a while. I think after the third trilogy, I like read the next one after that, and then I just I didn't bounce off it, but I just didn't pick up the next one after that and didn't feel massively inclined to catch up on it later. That's about the only one that I can think of, though. For the most part, if I've moved away from stuff, it's usually because like there's been a reason, a substantive, often problematic, material-related reason. But honestly, I still hang on to a lot of stuff that I loved as a kid. So I think part of me is reluctant to just grow out of stuff. I don't think that's part of my normal process. P.S. If you want to do some writing sprints while streaming tonight, we could write with you. Just a thought. You know what? If come next live stream, if I'm still working on the book at it, I might have it be writing sprints. Hopefully I'm done by then. We'll see. But I hope so. Couple more. Is it bad that I call you Vera because I'm too lazy to type out Nathaniel? Nope. Makes total sense to me. I don't know if anyone has asked you this. Probably have. Was Doctor Who your first fandom? No. Goodness, no. Star Wars. Star Wars was my first fandom. I didn't get into Doctor Who until I was in my 20s. So, nope. That was definitely not my first. All right. Popping on back to the stream. That is not where I wanted to go. That's where I wanted to go. Hey! There we go. Bit random. Should Gotham have done a musical episode? I don't know if they should have. Whether or not they should have, I think... whether I think it depends on whether or not enough of the cast could sing, which I don't know if they could. They could have gotten away with it. I haven't seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier because, from what I've seen, they turned my great-grandfather into a murdering psychopath. My great-grandfather fought in World War II, so I tie him with Cap. I mean, the thing to keep in mind is that the guy currently carrying the shield, John Walker, is not Steve Rogers and has no ties to World War II the way Steve Rogers did. And his ability to carry, or his failure to carry, that legacy is kind of key to the story. So I feel like you are making a leap there that the show itself does not make. On the Twitch live stream, I like that you said you thought my name was lovely. Well, it is. So there you go. Do you think the 4, 5, 6 are the most detestable villains in the Doctor Who universe? If not, who do you think is? Ooh. They would definitely be in the conversation. I'd put them on the short list. I don't want to say that definitively because I feel like I'd have to think about that. But definitely right up there. Would it be fair to describe you as the hostess of the council? Oh, absolutely. Can you hum? Yeah. So far as I know, basically anybody can hum, but okay. Excuse me. Was going to ask, what do you think of Nathaniel? No. I hate nickname. I hate plays on Nathaniel. Like, I hate nicknames. I hate shortenings of it. Yeah, no. That just sounds so wrong to my ear on like a gut level. Appreciate the thought. I see what you were going for, but no. No. I still have the DVD of the first 2 Jeepers Creepers films, which I got long before I knew what the director had done. Yeah, I had the first film on DVD. I did get rid of it, ultimately. I never bought the second one on DVD because the second one wasn't a very good movie. Regardless, I did think that first one... Oh, I missed a super chat. Oh, thank you, Carowin. Sorry, I'm backing up. Thank you. She keeps me in line. Yeah, Jeepers Creepers, that second one, I just did not think was a good movie regardless. Okay, here we go. Jimmy, Jonathan, Lee, I am sorry I missed it earlier. I might have been in the Discord. I should have scrolled back up through. You get a heart. Thank you. I hope you're still in the chat. Hope you're doing well. Do you think nostalgia is the albatross that limits new ideas with the J.J. Abrams Star Wars films and the backlash towards Jeff Johns? Sort of. Here's what I will say is that I feel like a nostalgia is an issue. However, the way that we talk about it is going to vary because there are some people who will argue that the problem is the nostalgia that the creators, like J.J. Abrams himself, has that is the problem. Others would argue that it is the nostalgia of the fandom that is the problem and causes them to respond the way they do. I'm actually going to kind of split the difference. I think the creators going in with a deliberate intention to appeal to nostalgia is kind of where a lot of the problems start. It's what meant the Star Wars films, other than Last Jedi, which I didn't like, but it did try to step outside of nostalgia a bit. Those films, they desperately wanted to appeal to people's nostalgic sensibilities. And having that as your goal at the same level or possibly even as a higher priority than telling a good story, the relationship between fan and creator, or fan and IP holder, more realistically, is a very fraught one. And there's a lot of back and forth in it that I think is kind of unhealthy for everybody involved at times, because there can be an echo chamber in the fact that fans have more direct access to creators than they ever have before. I think makes an existing problem worse. Because nostalgia is a funny thing. Ultimately, when you have serious nostalgia for something, what you want from it is something that's impossible. At your heart, for Star Wars fans who have nostalgia for the earlier films, what they want seeing the new films is to feel the way they felt when they saw the originals. And you can't. These aren't the same movies, made by the same people, but more importantly, you are not the same person. Nothing can capture truly that same feeling that you had when you were however old you were when you first fell in love with this property. But that is the high that fans keep chasing. And some have a healthier understanding that, of what they can get from continuing to engage with the property than others. But there are definitely some who seem to get angry when it doesn't make them feel the way they felt when they first fell in love with it. But nothing will. Nothing ever could. And knowing that there are creators and companies trying to monetize that desire and that wish, that impossible wish to feel the way you did however long ago, yeah, it's a little bit of a mess. Oh, we got another one. The Otaku Cat, thank you. Ooh, your icon's adorable. Did you know there's a Labyrinth tabletop RPG? I think I did, but I'd forgotten about it because that is ringing a vague bell. I think I saw something about it like when it first came out, but I couldn't afford it, so it just kind of slipped out of my head after that. Have you seen the Flash TV? I saw the first 2 seasons. Started the 3rd season. Got really sick of saying "damn it, Barry," and stopped. Do you ever think about your daughter possibly being greater than you? I mean, I hope she is. I mean, broadly speaking, she doesn't share my kinds of ambitions. So, like, she has never expressed a desire to be a YouTuber or to write a book. And she does have things that she is passionate about, but they are pursuits different from what I have pursued. So the idea of comparing her as, greater than me, given that we, at least at present, the age she's at, she's not pursuing the same things that I am pursuing, it just seems like an odd comparison to make to me. No, I meant, can you hum on the live stream? No, because if I start humming a tune that's copyrighted, I risk getting flagged and I won't do it. What if you switch bodies with Doomcock? I wouldn't know it because I imagine that helmet is not his actual head. So I have no clue what he looks like. I would be terrified to find out. I'd also be a man again, which... No, I like my boobs too much. So that's a hard no. Do you have any favorite Doctor Who novels, not The Good Doctor? I actually have read very, very, very few, and really only in audiobook form. So not really in a position to answer that. This is talk about nostalgia reminds me of why some of my favorite Doctor Who stories critique nostalgia, such as Doctor Falls and Jubilee. Interesting. I also recently and regretfully got the Blu-ray of Primer and Upstream Color because I was completely unaware of what Shane Carruth has been accused of. Oh, has he? I was unaware. Oh. I mean, I saw Primer, and I could appreciate what it was, but I didn't enjoy it. So, never got around to Upstream Color. But honestly, what saddens me most about those accusations when they land is less the idea of, oh, this is a piece of media I won't be able to enjoy again. And it saddens me more the idea of, how many people did they hurt before this went public, before this came out? How big a fan of TMNT are you? Moderately. I read the original comics, not at the time they came out, but I bought like collections of the original comics, like first 4 volumes. Read and reread those, loved those. Watched the first 3 movies and the CGI one. Got some degree of entertainment out of all of them. I wasn't an avid watcher of the original cartoon. I think, honestly, that's something that I kind of grew out. Not Ninja Turtles as a general thing, but just how cartoonish that specific cartoon was. I had a lot of the toys for a while. I did enjoy TMNT. I have not gone back to it. Maybe that's one I've grown out of. But then again, I don't know, because I haven't really taken the time to try and go back. I feel like Star Wars 7, 8, and 9 are not canon in my head. Only 1 to 6, plus The Mandalorian, Clone Wars, and other Star Wars stuff we're getting are canon in my head. The main reason why I wouldn't consider them non-canon, but the main reason that I won't sink too many of my thoughts into Star Wars 7 or 8 or 9 is more just because, actually, on premise, the fact that the First Order rose up basically means that my heroes didn't win. At the end of Return of the Jedi, they didn't get to just win and be victorious and be happy, because effectively the exact same threat rose up again. And that is actually my biggest fundamental issue with those movies. I have issues with each one individually, but broadly speaking, the fact that it negates the happy ending of Return of the Jedi, I consider that to kind of be the original sin. And that's not a retcon for me. You can go back. I don't know if they're still up. Ryan Daly had a podcast called Dead Bothan Spies that he had me on. This was before Force Awakens comes out. And I talked about this, having this problem on premise. So I'm not pulling this one out of my butt. I've been hammering this one for a while. Oh, thank you, Thomas. You get a heart. Are you a fan of Mystery Science Theater 3000 by any chance? Yes. Again, I would say casually. I've never really muscled through all their stuff, but I've enjoyed what I've seen. I think the one I've seen the most times was the movie where they did This Island Earth. I really did enjoy that one. That's sort of the one that tends to leap to mind. It's the one I know the most quotes from. Oh, suddenly I have a refreshing mint flavor. They're magnetized. And if your hands were metal, that would mean something. I do enjoy MST3K. It's good stuff. Seeing as The Simpsons has got in the news because of it, Benedict Cumberbatch's Morrissey impression is on point. Okay, I'll take your word for that. Do you like s'mores? Yeah, sure. In the summer. So it's a little early for them yet. I am going to wrap it up soon. Ryan's great. I hope he can show up here again after COVID times. I'm trying to finish up editing. I did a catch up with him and Paul. That'll go up on the break room. I'm trying to wrap up editing it, but it's a pain in my butt. But yeah, so there'll be a little bit of a catch up at least. You don't have time. You don't have to hum a song. Just hum in general. There you go. I've hummed. Okay. Too soon. I've been going for about an hour. And yeah, hold on. Is this about done? I've got a video rendering. No, that's almost done. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I might try. What is it with the humming? I don't know. Ask Ms. Wicked Wolf. She's the one who kept bringing it up. Managed to wrangle Paul. I'm impressed, as you should be. Yes, Paul's a very difficult wrangle. So Twitch. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, I will be on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Council of Geeks. I will be futzing around on Hearthstone again. That is probably what I will continue to play until I get a better computer. But, yeah. So, yeah. There you go. You want to catch up with me in the morning? That's where I'll be. I hope everybody has a good rest of the evening. I don't know what I'm going to do with mine. I'll figure that out. But take care of yourself. Be safe. I know more people are getting vaccinated, but don't jump the gun. Be safe out there. Be kind. And please remember that you are beautiful, you are valid, and you are loved. You are the council. I just run the meetings. And until next time, this council is adjourned. McKenna!